Sporadic violence has broken out in cities across the UK for a fourth night in a row. More than half a dozen violent hotspots have flared up over the past few days. Buildings were set ablaze and shops looted. Hundreds of people have been arrested and one man's been confirmed dead. Laura Emmett is in the British capital with the latest for us.
We saw a lot of trouble in Birmingham last night, which we also had seen on the previous night. Manchester and Salford also flared up in quite a serious way, as did a variety of sort of small towns in the surrounding area. So this violence has now spread outwards from the capital into really improbable small towns all over the country. We're hearing reports that 3 people were killed in Birmingham when they were run over by a car that was just running amok, and that police are looking at launching a murder inquiry. The reason that it was so under control last night, we think, is because an additional 10,000 police, bringing the number of police to a total of 16,000, were working on the streets of London last night. They had permission to use rubber bullets if they had to. A supply of rubber bullets was available to them. We haven't heard any reports of that having to be actually deployed. We saw fires in other parts of the country, looting, police being attacked with rocks and with petrol bombs. So really this is something that is now nationwide. Parliament will come back and meet today. They're all coming back from their summer break to deal with this situation. But I have to say that a lot of people were very disappointed in David Cameron's statement yesterday. They were expecting him to come in here and say this is out of control, we have to do something concrete about it, and what we're going to do is this, this and this. In fact, he didn't say that. Parliament is coming back today. They're going to hold a debate, which a lot of people said, you know, we don't need a debate right now, what we need is actual action. But their government are not proposing to introduce any emergency legislation to deal with this situation. And I'm here this morning in Tottenham, where of course it all began. It all sparked off as a result of the shooting of a man called Mark Duggan. The building you can see being demolished behind me was set on fire by looters on the first night of these troubles. And these communities in which the violence is taking place are hugely socially deprived. There's nothing for young people to do around here. I spoke to a youth worker in Clapham yesterday who told me that literally people are on their summer holiday, and would you rather sit in and watch the television, or would you rather go out and loot some shops? And she said even she knows which one she'd choose. You know, people are out for excitement essentially, and they're just looking for something to occupy themselves, and that hole in their level of occupation is being exploited by other people who are coming in, and older people, older criminals who are coming in and inciting them to violence. At least that's what she told me. So really large social problems at a time when the UK is spending an awful lot of money abroad, both in Libya and in Afghanistan, and that's the subject of my report.
Across England and Wales, more than 11,000 police have already been laid off in austerity measures. By 2015, a total of 34,000 will go. Meanwhile, London and other cities are taken over by thugs.
The police have not been anywhere. Where are the police? If the police were here, do you think all that would have been done?
I think they need to prioritise themselves a little bit better. I don't think they're doing everything they can. I don't mean they need to be more violent. I think they need to be more competent.
While police numbers are being cut, the estimated cost of the war in Afghanistan from 2001 to the end of last month was $30 billion, all taxpayer cash. British forces are also heavily involved in Libya, despite the Ministry of Defence being required to lose 32,000 staff. MEP Gerard Batten says money's being spent on foreign wars that should be spent at home.
I think that the point has come where we have to call in the armed forces. What we're seeing now is chaos and chaotic criminality across the whole of London. What we should do, in my view, is pull our troops back from these pointless wars in Afghanistan, in Iraq.
As money's spent on 2 wars in foreign lands, parts of London, Birmingham, Liverpool and Bristol are essentially ghettos, partly because of high immigration, but also because young people in these communities have no prospects. They're bored and disaffected, and as the cuts bite, that's not going to improve. A Clapham youth worker told me 4 out of 8 youth centres have closed since last year.
It's about investing in our communities. When you take away the money from the policing, when you take away the money from the youth work, then, I mean, I could never have imagined such consequences, to be honest. It's you know, but you will get consequences.
Tuesday night saw 16,000 police officers on the streets of London. According to the Metropolitan Police, the force is being stretched more than ever before. And increasingly, Londoners are talking about taking matters into their own hands.
Bringing the situation under control is just the beginning of solving this problem. It's not just about cleaning up, it's about communities coming to terms with the fact that even at the current numbers, if violence is widespread enough, the police seem unable to retain control. The feeling of insecurity in these communities is likely to remain for some time, particularly if police keep disappearing from the beat. Laura Emmett, RT, Clapham, London.